NFR Extra, we're going to take you behind the scenes in a way you've never heard before. Every 2 weeks, you're going to hear personal conversations with the icons and personalities that make up the world's richest and most prestigious rodeo. NFR Extra. All dirt, all rodeo, all year.
I'm your host, Nevada Caldwell.
And I'm rocking Robbie Hodges.
Man, Robbie, I mean, first of all, things are rocking here, right?
Yes. Listen to this place. It's
totally. We're here.
Full, too, here at Cowboy Christmas.
NFR Extra.
Right out here at the Bloomer Studio.
Right next to the live stage, Rodeo Houston live stage at Cowboy Christmas. You can hear behind us, rocking music. And, of course, this episode right here.
Yeah, we got the builder, the one that built it all right here.
We got the Beavs.
Joe Beaver. We're going to dive off into some stuff that you're going to find pretty interesting and how to win.
Yeah, and obviously we were worried if Joe was going to share anything with us, right?
He shared it, and we've seen Joe, and this side of Joe was from the tragedy to the triumphs that we had. Yeah. And it's going to be pretty interesting. I can't wait to hear it now that when I was visiting with him, but it's like sitting here at a bar listening to him.
Well, and Joe obviously is a pretty well-rounded guy in the rodeo business. He started off as an athlete, now he's in the TV business, and he's also on the promoter side, helping out the youth side. So we're going to learn a lot of stuff. And, when being a multiple champion, I think that's something I'm learning, right? You win one time, okay, great, you won one time. But when we start talking about multiple championships and what that does to the mind, the heart, the body, and the soul, well, I'm pretty sure Joe's going to talk a lot about that.
Yeah. I think you're going to enjoy that part of it, like with talking about his dad and some of that stuff, too.
Yeah, I agree.
This is Brylan Bentley with Rodeo News of the Week. Wednesday, December 11th in Las Vegas, you can find the Wrangler NFR autograph sessions at Gilley's in Treasure Island with the Bull Riders starting at 12. Bullfighters only Las Vegas Championship in Tropicana Outdoor Arena at 2 p.m. Silverton Casino presents Cowboys and Indians After Party. Josh Ward at the South Point Showroom at 8 p.m. Lainey Wilson at the Silverton Casino. Shania Twain. Zappos Theater at Atlantic Hollywood. Brett Rigby at Eastside Cannery. Kevin Fowler at Gilley's. Sundance Head at Hard Rock Hotel. Glenn Templeton and the Chansey Williams Band playing at the Mirage. 11 p.m. Wrangler NFR Go Round Buckle presentation hosted by Flint Rasmussen and Randy Corley at South Point Hotel and Casino. Now let's rewind to last night's rodeo.
It's halftime at the 2019 Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. 5 rounds down, 5 rounds still to go. Let's talk about what happened in round number 5. It was really an entertaining round.
Yeah, it was a huge round. We saw the great horses out in this round. Some big scores in the 90s. That's what we expect.
Flirting with arena records. We start with bareback riding, and of course, Clayton Bigelow actually owns the arena record, but he had Scarlet Bell. 92.5 points for him to get the win.
Yeah, and a big ride for Clayton Bigelow. He's trying to win his first world title. He took a huge step in that direction with this big ride.
On the steer wrestling side of things, Kyle Irwin's been a little bit quiet, but he's made a little bit of noise in round number 5.
Yeah, Kyle Irwin, this is the second time now the steer has been out, so they knew he was a good one, and Kyle Irwin took advantage of it. Awesome run.
Team roping, Chad Masters and Joseph Harrison, they have now won back-to-back rounds, winning time in round 5, 4-2.
Chad Masters is so awesome on that end, and Harrison, he has been cleaning it up. Those guys now, 2 rounds, they've just been dominating.
Canada produces great saddle bronc riders. Here's one of them, Jake Watson on Lunatic from Hell, 92 points for the win.
Yeah, when you draw the former Bucking Horse of the Year, that's what you expect to do. Watson had a little trouble earlier, took advantage of it.
Tie down roping had trouble getting in the 7s, but man, Ty Harris woke him up, 7-4, go-round winner.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this. Ty Harris, I watched him a lot this year, and I've seen him make runs like this. It's just a matter of time. He may make a few more.
On barrel racing, Donna K. Rule, she was the first to go, and that's like cheating.
Riding Valor, the AQHA Horse of the Year, and we knew that this was going to be her chance to be big, and it was really big, the fastest run we've seen this week.
And in bull riding, Dalen Swearingen, coming into round 5, he was 0 for 4. He ends that streak. He gets a win, 92 points.
Great round of bull riding tonight. Swearingen supposed to have been bucked off that first jump, and then just sets up and gives it to him.
Ram Top Gun, whoever wins the most money out of a single event wins a brand new Ram truck. Shane Hanchy, well, he's been impressive, 98 plus for him, tied with Emily Miller. And out of all of those right there, Emily Miller has the edge because of the average, a new Ram truck on the line. Hey, let's get busy. The March to Championship Saturday is now on. Round number 6 tonight, coming up at 10 Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network.
This is NFR Extra After Dark with Kendra Santos, and I'm here with Donna Krog, who just won her second round of the week. She won the second round and round 5 now on her Horse of the Year, Valor. I would love for you to talk a little bit about Valor and how it was sort of a quirky that he's got racehorse background, NFR barrel racer Lana Merrick, but there was a twist of fate. Right?
Yes. I had a horse named Juice, and he had a disaster injury at a rodeo, a freak accident at a rodeo in Springfield, Missouri. And he was my A team, and Valor was my B team. And I had bought him from Lana just not long before, late in his 5-year-old year, as a broke gelding because of her job obligations. She couldn't finish him and offered him to sale for me to buy, and with the stipulation I didn't sell him unless I sold him back to her. So when Juice got hurt, then Valor stepped up.
And he really stepped up. But I would love for you to talk to people too about you go about it the old school, old-fashioned, slow road, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a slow-mo trainer. In fact, I've had some really nice colts and sold them, and people, some big trainers, or big buyers, they say, why aren't you riding for me? And I can't. If you won't like me, if they're not ready, I won't finish them. They can't go if they're not ready.
Well, so you're here at the finals, and you've been in different roles, right? Different hats here before. Talk a little bit about John. You guys had a saddle business, and he 20 years made the saddles for the world champions.
Well, actually it was 10 years, but it's been 20 years since we've been here, so maybe that's the confusion. But yeah, we made it for 10 years. It was a lot of work, and we came for that, and we would come for 3 days and stay for the awards banquet, and we always thought that was 2 days too long to be in Vegas, so this has been a challenge for me.
Well, but when you're all these years, I saw some quote that you said the other day that was so awesome, like when you're a little girl on your pony, you dream of this. But you've been here in so many capacities. To be here at 61,
mm-hmm.
do you feel like you have a different appreciation or perspective because you have a world view that maybe a 20-year-old might not have?
Oh, 100%. I do not care what anybody else does. I know that all I got to do is take care of my business and focus on what I'm doing and deal with this wonderful horse that's been a total gift from God, and just let him work and let me do my job.
Okay, last question. Are looks deceiving, or is riding Valor like riding a rocket?
Oh my gosh. Well, honestly, the first couple of weeks I had him, he was so powerful and so full of beans. I told my husband, he's a saddle maker, and I said, oh my goodness, when I was out there riding him, it was a good thing I was riding one of your saddles. I'd have pulled the horn out anything else. That son of a gun so stinking fast.
So it's a big thrill.
Oh, so much.
We're all so thrilled for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Looking for tickets to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo? StubHub is the official secondary and fan-to-fan site of the rodeo. Fans can buy and sell their tickets through a safe and secure online marketplace. Visit nfrexperience.com.
To celebrate the 35th anniversary of the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas, LVE and PRCA present the top 35 most memorable moments.
The Thomas & Mack Center was tagged with the nickname, the house that Joe built straight out of the blocks. The National Finals Rodeo moved to Las Vegas in 1985, and rookie sensation Joe Beaver, who was just 20 at the time, won his first of 8 gold buckles.
Maybe a newcomer, but he acts just like a pro so far. Getting out of that box is a science by itself.
Oh, Beaver can be so quick with those hands. What did we tell you here? Oh, yes. So the rookie, his first time at the National Finals Rodeo.
Between 1985 and 2000, Beaver won 5 World Tie-Down Roping Championships and 3 World Champion All-Around Cowboy crowns, punctuated by a grand total of 29 National Finals go-around wins, including 21 in tie-down roping. Beaver qualified for 22 NFRs in Las Vegas, 18 times as a tie-down roper, 4 more times as a team roper. He's also one of only 6 Cowboys to win a world championship as a ProRodeo rookie, and Joe Beaver was inducted into the ProRodeo Hall of Fame in the category of All-Around Cowboy in 2002.
And if you think the pressure got to this kid, forget that, Dale. Joe Beaver. If you don't know his name, you will remember it soon.
Robbie, what's going on?
Hey, buddy.
What are we, hump day here?
Yes, we
2019, Wrangler NFR?
Half there.
Oh, man.
And kind of sad. I've had such a good time with all these interviews this week.
Hey, we're halfway there, so we get to do the other half of what we already got to do in the first half.
Yeah,
so,
I know, that's
you know,
right.
I'm a little excited. And once again, great guest coming on.
Yep.
Do I need to call myself or you?
I'll let you say him.
I love it.
Because I'm going to bother him here in a minute. We're fixing to get after him.
Oh, the last time we talked to him was great. 8-time world champ and Pro Rodeo Hall of Famer, Joe Beaver. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Man, I'm glad to be here. Amongst royalty. You know, I'm amongst royalty at this show.
Yeah, we're decorated.
Yeah, boy.
We're not going to say how, where, and what, but you're decorated.
Yes, we're the king of something in here. This is getting lighter, isn't it? You know, when we first started this, now it's like our buddies are in here.
Man.
This is a beer chat.
Well, yeah, I think when we started off, we had Oat in here, we had Casey.
Yeah.
And things were cool.
Too serious, man.
Yeah.
Those guys are too serious.
But Oat talked. Oat started opening up, and I didn't know that he hitchhiked for 2 years as a pro rodeo athlete.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I caught a ride with him one time. Sam Duvall, Ricky Huddleston, Oatberry, and Codlow, and me, and somebody else jumped in. Single cab.
Nice.
Camper, no air condition.
Yeah.
I couldn't get to an airport fast enough. Yeah. You know, I said, you boys go ahead and go like this, and y'all can, but I'm going to buy me a plane ticket somewhere.
You bet. Well, see, that was our first interview was Case and Oat. So we, KC and Oat, so we had to pressure test this big old thing. We had, the wheels were sinking. We had about 800 pounds in here.
I'm telling you, boy.
Yeah, he got up to get water, and it was like, whoa.
Yeah, he leaned over there. The whole trailer, it was like we were in the Gulf.
Well, you should have been in a single cab truck with them big hot from Sydney,
sweaties.
Iowa to Sykeston, Missouri. It wasn't cool in August.
But at least
either.
it was cool when you got to
yeah.
You know,
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Just a bar of soap, all you need to take a shower outside.
All right, let's talk about Joe. Joe, first of all, very impressive because, I mean, this doesn't happen very often. You were one of 6 rookies to win the world coming into the game.
I really didn't realize that till we were talking about Haven Midget the other day, and they said it's been a while. I said it's probably been a while since that happened. Somebody said, "Yeah, you."
Yeah.
You know, and I that's an elite field. That's one of those things that they don't take away from you. It's kind of weird because I had a rig catch fire and burn down in like maybe 87, and I think I'd already won the title twice. And the first thing my dad asked me was, he said, "Did you get your rookie buckle out there?" Because back then, I lived in truck and camper and wherever I stopped, and I said, it's melted in the dash, but I got it. And I said, why? He said, because that's the only time you get to win that buckle, and that first year buckle, that world championship buckle. He said, but surely you'll win more, but you need those 2. You need to keep those 2. And I've kept those 2
what
forever.
A cool thing.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way, but he knew that, your only rookie wants to win it. You only get a chance to win a world championship as a rookie once.
The first time.
All right, so neither Robbie or I are champions, right? So, but you are. The pressure of winning the first time out, right? You got to build to something, but you did it right away. What was going through your mind to think that, and look, I clearly understand Cowboys have utmost confidence in what they can do. What was going through your head coming out of that season, walking on that, world?
It about ruined me because, I had a good time. I mean, when I rodeoed, I had a good time. Young, single, free, fun,
Oh, man.
And I remember I wanted the first year, I'll back up a little bit. I didn't even have my card, my permit in 84. I was going to the IPRA rodeos and the amateurs, well, I was doing good in those, but back then you couldn't have a card and a permit.
Right.
IPRA, this took all my points away. So I didn't have nothing else to do. And my wife, my wife, girlfriend's time, and my mother, they just said, well, get your permit and fill it and try them. I'm like, I'm not ready to go to the pro rodeos. So I did, and then I win the rookie, win the world. Well, the next year, I'm just rolling and going and roping and having a big time. And I remember I was home, and our year used to not be over, remember, till Halloween, November 1st.
Oh, gotcha.
And I was home in September in South Texas, and just turned out some rodeos. I got tired of going. I'm just going to fly home for a while. And my dad said, back then, of course, you didn't get the emails or the updates, or you didn't get online and see who was in the top, whatever. And he comes in one day and he throws the sports news down there, and I was sitting there on the couch watching TV. And I said, is that a new one? He said, yeah, you seen the new sports news lately? And I said, no. He said, well, you might have checked that out. He said, because it's September and you're not in the top 20. And I looked at him and I said, you're kidding me. He said, no. He said, you might ought to figure out that you got to rope and win again. I said, well, I just figured after last year they'd invite me back. And he said, no, they're not going to do that.
It's not work that way.
I'm going to tell you, that first year in 86, after I won all that in 85, I barely made the finals. I mean, I busted it right there at the end. But it was a wake-up call, I think, that I carried through the rest of my career. That, hey, it's a thank you today. What are you going to do for me tomorrow? Sport, and it woke me up.
It ain't what you done, it's what you done lately.
I promise you that, yeah.
So we brought up Oat. We talked about your first win. Clearly, that was in Thomas Mack Center.
Thomas and Mack.
The house that Joe built.
Yeah, they've remodeled that son of a gun a few times, but it feels good, you know. And like I said, I had fun. And, you know, I wasn't no Casey Tibbs, but I mean, I wasn't no, you know, dead dread guy on the street. I had fun, and they used me for stuff, and the Thomas and Mack was good to me. And, you know, I remember the first year, it was a big deal. You know, it's a small venue. You know, it's in Vegas. You know, well, I didn't care. I made the finals. And they asked me in the interview one day, what do you think about it? I said, man, I think the rounds paid, I don't know, $6,000-7,000 or something back then. I saw I opened the parking lot for that much money. I don't care.
Yes.
So Thomas and Mack and I kind of grew together, you know.
Nice. Okay, so you brought up time, and we're talking about Oat.
Yeah.
So one of the things that Oat talked about, and I'm pretty sure you're going to expand on this, he talked about going from these big fields, Oklahoma City, all of a sudden you come to this like little tiny arena compared to what you were, you know, or land, I guess.
Yep.
How did that change the game for you?
Man, I loved it because I went to a wintertime rodeo down there in Texas, Simonton, Texas, all winter. And it was a little bitty building just like this. And then I went to the IRA rodeos before I was.
The Longhorns.
You betcha, Longhorns back east. I went to all the little buildings, you know. So when I backed up in here that first night, I was like, oh, man, they're just playing into my head.
Like being at Auburn Hills.
Yeah, this is no different to me. You know, it didn't mean anything. I mean, it did mean something. I'd made the national finals. But still, I mean, I roped for money. And I thought, well, this is cool. They've eliminated this and this and this. And, you know, I'm going to have fun.
So he also talked about
with how small and like practicing in a little place.
Yeah, and I mean, I grew up doing that. Yeah, did it every week.
But this is the other thing he also changed. He said it kind of sort of evolved the sport to where you, just like anything else, you started becoming faster. You know,
honestly, more fan friendly. Because, you know, everywhere you sit in there, you can see the action and you feel like you're on part of it. And if you're being 3s in the steer wrestling and 7 in the tie down and 4 in the team rope, and instead of being out in the middle of a big arena and being, you know, 5 in the steer wrestling or what, fans know fast action, fast pace. Do they like to see a handoff and a guy run, you know, 30 yards for a touchdown, or step back and throw the bomb and a guy make a, you know, unbelievable catch?
A do or die.
Yeah, they feel like they're part of it. So I think it was a great time for rodeo to bring it inside, to make it more fan friendly, and to step up our game.
That's a good spot on
absolutely.
that.
No, I told you.
And even the bucking stock. You know, as I do, Rob, you put one in a smaller, they're going to buck because they can't go as far. You know, and that made it better for the rough stock events, for the guys not, you know, the draw being better. Now, look, 30 years later, they've got that rough stock down. They've bred them to buck. But back then it was different. You know, there was still a lot of,
some of them had trouble bucking it.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
I remember some of
sir.
the horses, like Harper had one, Tom Thumb. Meanest horse I ever seen in my life. He wouldn't buck in this little, but that's an exception to this, because like you say, the bull riding we were talking about.
Yep.
They love it in that little bitty arena. And actually, I have sat in from the top where I could put my hand on the back wall of that place. I got a walk-in ticket one day. The year before I had it. Well, the next year I got to be in the barrel, and I'll never forget. I look up there and that seat's
empty.
that
guy?
Yeah, that seat's empty. I'm like, wait a minute, that's my seat up there. There was times I kind of wish I was sitting in that sucker too, but there's not a bad seat. I mean, from the top of the Thomas and Mack down, you know, and everybody's like, whoa, man, you're so way up high here. Nobody ever says, well, we were so high we couldn't see the action.
No, and I've been at the top doing the TV, like you said, where you go to the very top, you know. And here's the deal, I think, to me, and you hear this, we hear it all the time. Well, they need to build they need to seat more. No, they're filling up 17,000 a night.
Yep.
That's 180,000 almost in 10 days. It's a lot better to be full than to be big and be scattered.
Absolutely.
100%.
I think they've just made the right move.
I'm just gonna add this to anybody that's out there listening, and when we're talking about the intimacy of the seating, I just want to add this. One of my favorites. If you guys ever got to sit in the dugouts, which are like right next to by the camera baskets.
Oh, the pits. Yeah,
pits.
You feel like it's like Rome, because you're sitting right over there and you're looking up, down, that kind of thing. But like that feel, you see everything. And what's even more so, you may be sitting down and, hey, trust me, down in the plaza, that's the premium seating, right? However, if you're a true fan, you're able to see up above and see the breakdown of what it's almost like watching a football from up high, right? The high camera. You can see the breakdown of the play. You can see everything kind of where you faltered, where you did well.
Yep.
You can see everything real quick.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, the Thomas Mack Center's views are amazing.
It really is. So let's dive off into something that's always been cool with me with this with the tie down roping. And it's always calf roping. I don't care.
I know.
It's going to be calf roping for the rest of my life.
I'm with you.
I'm with you. It's like Busch Series in the racing. It's not the Xfinity. I'm going to call it what it is.
Hold on. I got to ask a question. So is it tie down to avoid using the word calf?
Yes.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Okay. I guess it is. They're always
Clearly,
trying
I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
it makes sense.
It's like a Michelob Ultra, you know, still beer.
barely,
but it's beer.
It covers, oh my gosh, I'm so glad Joe came in. You know how fun it is to get to, like we were talking about right before the show started, not to jump off subject, but Joe and I were sitting in here and we were just visiting because the only time he and I are good friends, so the only time I ever get to see him is when he's coiling his rope or he's pushing cattle out or something. We slap five and hey, Kittle Cat, where you at? I'll see you in a little bit. You know, when he's got to go and I got to go. But we had 15 minutes just to visit.
And I think that's the beauty part of the national finals that they need to keep capitalizing on is keep these guys and girls out there in front of the people so they can just be themselves.
Yeah.
And then they get to know. It's just like me. I did a deal, you know, Dalen Swearingen, you know.
You bet.
I knew his dad. I knew him. His brother come to my roping schools. But it's nice. And like I told him a while ago, the more you win, the more they're going to want you to talk. But you got to take your time to have your friends too and talk. You know, it's just like when we used to go to the tour rodeos. That's what's so cool about them.
Yep.
I'd hang out, you know, with if it was Miles Hare fighting or whatever, we'd all go to the bar after or whatever, or go get something to eat. And you get to mix with every aspect of rodeo. And it's like Robbie, he's at the rodeo. He's got three things on his mind: one, the rodeo; two, the crowd; three, the committee. Us, we don't have time to hang or visit because when he's through with the rodeo, he's got something else to do with those three. And then it's time to get away from those three.
That's true.
You know, so that's what makes it cool to do things like this.
One, it brings people together. And the other thing I think that's happened in Vegas, and this is the Vegas guy talking. I'm not the rodeo guy or anything like that. But a lot of, if I talk to you about the NBA, NHL, and to understand that they do a lot of their networking business here. So what it does is it opens, like for instance, I just kind of bring it up, I don't know if you guys will follow basketball, but when LeBron James went to the Miami Heat, that whole craziness, right? That happened here in Vegas.
Yeah.
And so when you start thinking about rodeo, to Joe's point, you got people that have been in pockets all through the season, and now you guys in one spot for like 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure there's been new business deals done here.
Oh, there's just tons of stuff done. And that's the way it needs to be. And that's why it's so good to be in Vegas. You know, they talk about moving it here, moving it there. They're like, no.
Wait,
don't.
No.
You know, go away with that. Because number one, what are you going to do with that with that many people at night? You know, there's gonna be a lot of jails full because they're gonna be bored. And, you know, when we're bored, we do stupid things. You know,
I can only have so many people at my RV.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, the porch is gonna go down. You know, what I mean?
The after party. I don't know that I could handle 178,000. I've gotten close a couple times.
There's no way they can have it anywhere but here.
And you know, okay, so. Obviously, I've grown up, unfortunately for me, fortunately, I guess, my first rodeo was NFR. You know, I'm not a cowboy.
You were spoiled from the get-go.
Totally. And I've been, so now over the time with LVE, you've been to a lot of rodeos, right? And a lot of favorites. I got to tell you, Pendleton was my favorite. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, yeah.
But yet, to your point, what I don't like is when it's done, where do we go? Like, we're all like, oh, man, and we're trying to figure places out. In Vegas, like, it's just, well, you can take a roulette wheel and say...
Yeah, you go here, there, yonder. Exactly. It doesn't matter. You just throw a dart somewhere and go. And that's what I mean. There's no way to move this caliber of a rodeo. No. Did it need to step up? Yeah, I thought it was time money needed to start coming on.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, that's right. It got done, so everybody...
A bunch of bull crap. Now let's go rodeo from now on.
And now they know. I think when it comes time again, just step it up and keep moving because you know what? Everybody's benefiting.
Absolutely. You know, Hedeman said yesterday, or I don't know, when it was that Saturday, I don't even know. He said Vegas is rodeo.
Yeah.
You know,
Vegas is finals. The NFR.
True. Yeah.
The best of the best is Vegas.
Yeah.
You go to any rodeo in the world. My dad almost wouldn't go to. He wouldn't hardly go to. We live 90 miles from San Antonio.
Oh man.
He wouldn't even go to watch hardly there. He said once he came out here the first year, he told me, he said, "Don't look at me for me no rodeos." He said that town and that rodeo is the best. You know what I mean? That's the way he felt. Yeah. And he was a hardened old, you know, just an old guy that he wasn't impressed. He didn't stay out all night, you know.
Yeah.
I did all that.
He had to wake you up.
But he, you know, that's what he felt. And that's what people, take you a walk down through this. Convention Center one day. Just walk down through there and see the variety of people now in the crowd.
Isn't it? Yes.
Robbie, it's not just hats and boots anymore. It's people come to watch the rodeo because they know the Vegas life and the rodeo mesh so good that it brings people in that want to enjoy the lifestyle here and the rodeo.
Can I tell you someone who we hung out with last night that was enjoying themselves? So last night, Michael Mack, you guys have met Michael.
Yeah.
Eric Burner is our creative services director. Right. We every year get invited to go hang out with Charlie Daniels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We go backstage and we've done a lot of work with those guys, man. And Charlie and his team are some amazing people. But this is the sweet part. So last night, we've been doing this 4 years. But we're standing there, we're backstage, and who comes behind us? This guy in black hat. Man, he's just got that look. And I've seen this. I'm like, oh, man, I've seen Trevor Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
Up there hanging with Charlie. But what the realization for us is how's that NFR retired life going, right? Like, he's just kind of doing that. And I got to ask you, Joe, like, at some point, when you had to step down from this, how did you, like, treat Vegas, not as the contestant? You had a little bit more, did your lifestyle change? Did you evolve in doing what you were doing every day as a contestant, or how did it change?
No, and I think you to go back to Trevor and me, and there's a few others. I think you have to be totally okay with being done.
Yes.
And then Vegas takes over the other way for you.
Yes.
It's business for me. Yeah. It's fun. This week it's business.
Yeah.
But with, for instance, you go start doing the Resistol, luncheons that you didn't have time to do for the rookies. You start doing shows like this when I didn't maybe had time because you had to honor your sponsors and all your stuff. I still do that, but it gives me more time.
Yeah.
And I think to do that and be comfortable, you got to know when you walked away that you left it all in there. Now, there's a lot of guys that aren't like that.
Yeah.
When I was done, I was good. I was through. I was fine. I didn't want to go and try to do what I couldn't do. And Trevor, everybody's like, he's going to come back. He's going to come back. He's winning. And I said, no, he's not. He's enjoying what he's doing.
Well, most of them come back because they need the money.
That's true. That's true. And I got the best advice in my life. And for young guys out there, and I told Dalen this a while ago, Denny Flynn, many-time National Finals bull rider, one of the nicest guys you'll ever be around.
Nice.
He told me when I was younger and winning a lot, he said, hey, I'll give you some advice. So what's that? He said, while money's easy, pay for everything.
Yeah.
And I said, what do you mean easy? He said, you win. You win a lot. It's easy. Pay for everything.
Yeah.
And I did. I started paying for everything. So because at some point that shooting star is going to drop.
Oh yeah.
And when it drops, it's the only thing or person I never figured out how to beat, Father Time.
Oh,
you can't.
I could beat anybody else.
I'm a part of that club.
I don't care how good you roped. How good what you would. I figured out how to beat you my whole life.
Yeah.
But Father Time will beat you. And it's Trevor's at a good point in his life. He has nothing to prove.
Yep.
He's enjoying himself. I like that. That's how I felt like I went out.
Yeah.
And I went out of one coming into another. He is his horse training. He loves messing with young horses and training horses.
He's going to be just fine.
He's fine. That's right. Me, I could give two about any young horse.
We were talking about that earlier before we started this about, I said, well, I was but I was top 5 to do the NFR again, and I was sitting there.
How are you going to do it?
How am I going to? I didn't care.
He ain't making this podcast. He does it.
Yeah, but there was a day that you craved that.
Oh my gosh! If I don't get the NFR, I don't know.
Or if I'm not, But once I think that you've given it all and you've done all you can, and you know that you've been successful and made something.
Yep.
I think you're okay with it. I remember the first time I hurt my knee. I had 5 surgeries during my career. My knee, one knee and 2 on the other, and back. All this stuff. But I remember the first time I hurt my knee, it was years ago, maybe 88 or something, 89.
wow.
But I remember I was rehabbing and whining about it, because I was young and stuff. And my dad come through there, and we had a homemade PT, in the barn, lifting this pulleys and hay, and, And he come through and he said, what's the matter? And I laid it all out, and he said, hey, I can fix all this. And I said, well, lay your knowledge on me there, Mr. Smart Man. And he said, when you start back, he said, I want you to give 40% in your roping from now on. And I kind of looked, and he said, now wait, he said, in 20 years, he said, you won't have no more surgeries. You won't hurt. You won't have any money. Nobody will know who you are, and you will be unsuccessful, but you won't hurt. And I said, well, I don't want to do that. He said, then shut up, get after it, and give all you got.
Saddle that pony.
So, that's kind of how I walked away from it.
All right, I actually got a question on that,
neat,
though.
yeah.
It is. And you've won 29 go-rounds at the NFR.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of wear and tear on the body. How is your body doing today?
Well, I'm paying for it today,
Yeah.
and like I tell everybody, I'm lucky because I this year I've had 5 surgeries. I have 4. I got 1 more.
Yep.
But I put them off, till I got everything, shoulders, knee replaced, all this stuff. But when they all say, "Oh, sorry, man, that career got you," I said, no, you don't understand. What if I had to have all this done when I needed my body to make a living?
True.
I didn't. So I was lucky. I was blessed to not have to do it.
Yeah.
Well, now you know what you do. Pay for it. Your time, get it fixed.
Yeah.
You don't whine about it. Go on about your life.
So it goes back to that whole, you live every day and you only die once.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday.
Leave a little bit left just to recognize you.
Yeah.
They look over there in you and you say, you know what, that guy had one hell of a good time.
That's all. And now I tell everybody, you can't please everybody all the time, but you can please yourself most of the time, and then you can look in the mirror and you're all right.
Absolutely.
I'm still in that, Joe. I like that.
Hey, and I'm telling you, I've looked in that mirror before and ducked. Not knowing that guy's scared to death of that crazy looking son of a gun in there,
Yeah.
But once you grow up and you grow through it and you grow out of it, as long as you can please yourself most of the time, you can't worry about people all the time.
Man.
That's right. You know what I like about what you're saying here in the last 10 minutes? 90% of the stuff you talk about is your dad and the influence. He was a hell of a coach.
Yeah, he did. And he didn't rope that good, but he was a student of the game. He studied
great.
that, and he'd come home and say, "Hey, you need to try this, and we need to try that, and you need to try." And then I remember when I graduated from high school, and it was colleges were all trying to get me to come rope and stuff, and my mom was they were trying to help me with money to go, and I went there one day and I said, "Hey," I said, "I'm not gonna go to school and pay attention, so why don't y'all keep that money? Because I'm gonna go try this roping deal for real." And I'd won a lot, in high school. I went to 248 rodeos when I was a senior in high school. I went to 210 the year before.
That wasn't with an airplane.
No, I didn't even know what an airplane was. Never got on an airplane until I was 19 years old,
boy.
So I said, why don't y'all take that money, set it aside, because if this doesn't work, I'd like to go to school for real and go to law school. I want to be a lawyer. Nice. And he said, I tell you what I'll do. He said, give you 2 years to go see if it works, and if it don't, we'll help you. Past 2 years, you're on your own because you're not telling them do what you told me.
Yeah.
I said, fair deal. So when you get you're raised like that, and we didn't. I always say this. I didn't live in the ghetto, but I always said roping was my way out of the ghetto.
Nice.
That was my way to make something of myself. And he was behind it 100%, and he didn't never question it. Never, if you could do it, do it.
I'm trying to wrap my mind around Joe Beaver, the prosecutor.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
I think
would
you might have
enjoy
been
it.
okay
I
at
would
that.
enjoy it. My nephew right now, we're putting him through. We've got him in law school, and he's going to be out, pretty soon.
When
but
is he going to be ready? Because
Pretty quick.
I got about 7 more days.
You know
here
what I
in
told
town.
him? I said, if you just get through, I've got plenty of customers.
You damn sure do, and I do. Probably out here. Is he licensed in Nevada?
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
I don't want to say it on the air, but
Oh man. Hey, so let's take it back to when you came here.
Okay.
Where did you stay for the first few years? Who were you staying?
It was cool because when I first started coming here a lot, I ran with the crowd that Buddy Spock ran the Stardust. We stayed at the Stardust and we had the full roll, and Steve Fexter was downtown at Binions. And, dude, we were,
that name comes up every
partner.
interview.
Between Buddy and Steve, we had the roll of the town, and it was, there wasn't all the big ones downtown. Rick and the Red Streaks were at the Frontier.
Oh, that part was packed back then.
What? You couldn't get in there at night.
That's awesome.
It was unbelievable. That's where back then that's where everybody went. And everybody was there. You saw everybody from the rodeo, contestants, spectators. It was a cool time.
That was a
to
hell of
be
a
here.
long run too. It wasn't just a few years.
They did
that
it
was
for years, man.
Yes, they were staples.
Yeah.
Most of them didn't quite get through it, but
Well, some of us did, some didn't.
So we've heard Sands, Gold Coast, or take it Barbary Coast, right?
Yeah.
We heard MGM. Now remember, when he said MGM, that's the old MGM.
Yeah, the one that
Yes. Yeah.
Bali.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, see, and we stayed at the Stardust. Let's see, the first year I stayed, believe it or not, we were somewhere way out at some of the low. And back then there wasn't all up and down the strip.
You could ride a horse down the strip.
Yes, sir.
You?
I mean, there wasn't all this stuff around.
Yep.
So wherever it was terrible far, and it was hard to get to. Whatever. And I met some guy that knew, visiting with him at the road. He knew somebody owned it. It used to be called Alexis Park.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Sorry,
about?
Hard Rock, yeah.
Yes. And he got me, and back then that was
Those are sweet.
Oh, dude, it was living it up. This is 85 we're talking about.
That's a smart move, Joe.
And so I got in right there at Lexus Park for 2 years, you know.
You got a condo.
What? I had it, and the arena's right there. You could throw a rock, you know.
Yes.
And then after that, Buddy Spock, and he took care of us, Stardust for years.
Nice.
And then Claude Kimberlin got with us all. We stayed at the Mirage and Treasure Island, and you know, I've been lucky. It's been a great ride. I've stayed at a lot of good places, and then now for the last 10 years, I work for the Boyd Group. You know, so and we do the night show for them, and we stay at there. So it's been a good ride.
And you get my buddy Rump over there.
Oh
too,
yeah, we got a Rump up there.
So yeah, let's talk about that real quick. How obviously we didn't. Well, you may be able to get over that. No, you're at PBR Rock Bar, so you can't get over there. I can't get over there.
Yeah,
like. How's that been at night? Like, how do you like closing that out the night?
It's good, but it's a long grind. You know what I mean? Because we were talking about it. Rob and I was talking about it earlier. You know, I do Western Sports Roundup 4 mornings.
Yep.
You know, I do the Resist All Lunch, and I do the things I used to couldn't do, which I do now. It's good. Yeah. But the rodeo's it's a 5:10, 5:15 set call. Yep. You know, I do the opening and I do the pre-show, and then I call the rodeo. Well, then over there it's 10:30.
Yep.
You know, and you don't have time to. I've got just enough time not to have time, you know. And you see all these people you hadn't seen in years. They want to go have dinner. My Australian buddies are here, Hawaii people, and you know, I go sit down, I have a drink. By the time bringing food, I got to go. You know, I take off. Yeah. But on the backside of that, you have to appreciate that too, because when you stop having, you know, the gigs or the wants, then you know you're on the backside of it. So you know, I take it in stride. I love doing it. I have a good time with it.
It'll end one day.
You dang right. It's just like your rodeo career, you know. You got to be.
I don't know. This one may hit harder if this one ends, because I sure have a, you know, back to, talking about when I had the finals, or you were here.
Yeah.
My kids came out.
Yeah.
Thank goodness my mom and dad came out to watch them, because they were like, Dad, we're kind of glad you don't have that anymore, because we never got to see you.
Exactly.
You think there's about a 4-hour span between, you know, the cowboy nap at 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, really? I wouldn't do that, man.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I mean,
you will.
I
promise
you will, because
the
in
2
morning
to
times,
5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Leave me alone for 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's the time I sleep.
You know, the last
my body's funny with that.
2 or 3 years I was here, or maybe
You'll get
more.
used to it.
Trevor and I would ride out together in a limo from the hotel together. We stayed in the same place, and we'd meet about 5:30 or 6. And he got me there early. He was there early and stuff.
Right.
You know, a lot different than early years when I couldn't find my car and stuff.
I've lost a car to my keys before here. So
let me tell you, we rolled in. One morning, I woke up. I wore knee braces, because I had knee problems, surgeries from the time I was young. Yeah. So I always kept my knee braces and my number in my knee brace bag. Well, out there, you can't get on the grounds without a number. You can't. I don't care if you're turning your bull out.
We're talking about Sean Davis's rodeo.
We're talking about. That's right. It's production. Around it. Production. Yes. So we wake up one day, and me and Ricky Canton and a couple more together. And it's our cowboy nap time. Well, then back then we slept from daylight through the cowboy nap. So about 4:30, 5 o'clock, we get up, get to shower, and we go. Time to go to the rodeo. And I said, Rick, you got the keys to the car? And he said, No, you had them. No, I didn't.
Oh gosh.
So I called JD, and I said, JD, you got the keys to the car? And he said, No, y'all dropped me off. So I called down front, valet. I said, Hey, did y'all have a red, whatever we had back is a red something? And he said. And I said, do y'all have a car in my name? Well, no. I said, well, do you have he said, what's your number? I said, well, I don't have a number. I'd find my car. I need, He said, no, we don't have anything like that. So I called them other 2 guys with us, and they said, Joe, last time we all pulled up to the hotel Stardust back then. Yeah. He said, to the revolving door, he said, you were driving. So I called that guy back down again. Well, by now it's 5:45. Rodeo starts 6:45.
Oh my God!
I need my number, my knee braces for sure. We gotta have a lot of tape, if not.
Yeah.
So I called back down there and I told that guy. I said, look, man, the guy that works tonight, works from 6 to 6, is gonna be here in about 15 minutes. He said, well, ask him. So now it's 6:05 before I get a hold of him,
Gosh.
And I said, look, guy, I've got mine. I tell him my story, and stuff. And he said, hold on just a second. He comes back and he says, can you describe this car? I said, yes, red. He said, that ain't going to do it. He said, but at 4:45 this morning, we found one running with all the doors open, sitting on the sidewalk by the revolving door. I said, that's my car.
Yeah, I guarantee.
He said, Wiki, you got to tell me something. I said, go open the trunk. And if you find a bag, he said, stop. I don't want to know what's in the bag.
Don't open it.
It's been a different call at the Vegas between then and now. But it's something you appreciate and enjoy. Yeah. And like you said, now it's the other part of it.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Well, that's funny, because again, not just keep going back to Tuff's deal, but I mean, because that's a champion. You're all, people think you come out here. Now you need to just keep it on your mind the whole time. You rodeoed your ass off all year
to get here.
Yeah.
He enjoyed it. Why would you change everything and unfun yourself right out of this deal? You know, come out here, do the exact. I do.
You know what I always tell everybody in all my clinics and stuff, them kids, and this is to your point, direct. Right. We compete from the shoulders down. We win from the shoulders up.
Absolutely.
If you change what got you here, because it is a prestigious event and you've worked your whole life to get here, and that's why I'm really impressed with like Haven and Taylor and Stetson Wright. And I mean, there's a few of them first timers that are impressing me this year.
Absolutely.
Because they're doing the same thing that got them here.
Exactly.
And if you don't do that, it's not going to work, number one, and it's not worth it, number two.
Absolutely. I've seen even guys, you know, we'll come in from somewhere and they'll be still sitting at the bar.
Yep.
They do. That's what they did all year. You know,
that makes sense.
Why just, you know,
why change? You know, I mean, it's, you see some guys, they and Taylor Santos and I had this conversation the other day. He was trying to find a horse from everywhere he could, anybody. And I said, Taylor, you rode that horse at 80 out of 85 rodeos. Ride him.
Yeah,
You're here because of it.
He's a little long striding. He's a little of this. And in that building, I said, how do you know? You've never been in that building.
Yeah.
You're going on what people are telling you.
Yeah,
those guys telling you aren't in the top 15. They're letting you borrow their horses. So take your horse and go see how it goes.
That's a good point.
You know?
That's true.
And then when you make it, just like Robbie, you know this, in your business too, everybody's an expert.
Gosh, yeah.
Have one bad night and everybody calls. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you finally get fed up with that. And that happened with me the first night when I packed the barrel down there. It's like throwing a pass. You know, we talked about this on my interview. The first time I worked the barrel here, and Clayton Williams gets his foot home. Like, hell, I go bailing off down there like I did
you betcha.
60 rodeos to go get them, to get clobbered. And they're like, you know, well, what I would have done there when you got there. And I finally about had enough of it, and I said, you talking about the barrel that's in the middle of the arena at the Wrangler National Finals when y'all were sitting in section 1,
that you're watching me.
When y'all get in that barrel and
do what you want,
you do it. But this is how this is going to be. And you know, and not to be ugly.
And they mean some of them mean well. Some of them want to
don't do that.
Turn it a little bit, but some of them mean well. But you know, you got to be your own person. And just like you said, you do the same, you act the same, you compete the same, and then you're happy with results.
Absolutely. Look at Jesse Bell. Jesse's one of my favorite people in the world. I saw him sit in that bar 24 hours and then go out there and just knife one. I mean, it was amazing.
And then you go the next night, you bucked off, and they're, oh, that's how come.
Yeah.
Well, was you not at Deadwood when he was out all night and won Deadwood by 5 points? Come on, really?
Exactly.
So let's talk TV.
Yep.
We kind of talked this last time we interviewed, but I love it because we put stuff on social media. Anything with Joe Beaver, there's talk.
Yeah, good or bad, they're going to talk.
Absolutely. But let's talk about your approach and kind of how you prepared. And I know we talked to this, but you know, we got a lot more listeners listening, so they may not dive into that episode. You are a straight shooter when it comes to TV. What's your preparation? What are you thinking? Are you thinking about things that you're going to attack, bring up for tonight, for instance?
To be real honest with you, you know, I go back to my dad again, but the first year I did TV, he watched a couple person. I was talking to him, you know, and he said, you know what you're watching. But until you can educate or convince the people what they're seeing, they're not going to lock on or enjoy it. So he said, you got to make it, you got to tell them the truth so they see it. Because sometimes they might see it and think that, and then you don't tell them the truth. And they're like, oh, I didn't see that. But if you tell them the truth and get them involved, they're going to enjoy it. And then I got them watching. You know what I mean? But I also do that by, even though you're my friend, you know, and if you're supposed to win the go-around in the bareback riding and you miss one out because you're lazy on your left foot, I'm going to call it. You know, he was lazy. He should have. Well, then I get he run him down to shoot. Well, I didn't see it, neither did the judge because it wasn't rewrite. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to rag you, but I'm also not going to protect you. If you're a competitor and you should win and there's a reason, give it to him.
So, and that's... obviously, we're seeing impact in the NFL with Romo and what he's doing.
Right.
You know, and love him or hate him. But, I mean, that education creates confidence. So I know I've listened to your broadcast, and, I'm sitting there watching like, oh, that makes sense. Everything you say
and that's like, what I want. See, that's what I want.
Until you said it.
So,
I mean, that definitely takes down that. So, but the same part, I mean, do you check social media or anything like that?
No, and I'm gonna tell you, like some of my guys, on doing my TV with me, you know, it's kind of funny because they'll have notes that deep. Man, I never take a note. I never write anything down.
Yeah.
I never,
Nice.
Like I'll get the draw and I'll get on and Sonny sends it to me to who did what on the animal.
Yep.
And I look at it one time and I don't want to dwell on things that are going to get boring.
Yeah, that's like a clown act that's totally
That's right.
scripted.
That's exactly right. The
keep it
best
going.
ones
Yeah.
either break up in the middle, you got to adjust,
Thank
or they
God.
don't know. But it's the truth,
You're right. And back to that, we were discussing this earlier. You are a lightning rod.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and like we were talking about,
Definitely.
when it's when they're not making noise, that, what, Joe Beaver, everybody thinks he's an expert. He
That's
said
right.
that about. And just like, and we'll go back to the thing with Donnie.
Yeah.
That dang Donnie Gay, I can't stand to hear that little pisser, and I'd like to beat his.
Where's Donnie?
Where's Donnie?
Where's Donnie? Why ain't he on there?
I know. How many times do you get that? On
We get a lot of direct messages about where is honestly, I wanted to make a T-shirt last year. Saying,
where's Donnie?
Where's Donnie?
I
Gay?
guarantee
I know,
you.
and then he'll get on there 2 years later. I wish they'd get rid of
I
him.
know,
Son
I
of
know.
Texas Air.
But I
know.
also know when Joe says something on the broadcast, because this is also what happens. Well, it'll be like 7 comments, private message like, Joe, and it's just talking about Joe.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, hey.
man, he said something during something, and everybody felt that. And now we're feeling it.
Yeah.
And just like we were talking about the drinking game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Every
same
time Joe
deal.
says yes, so he said about 8th round, everybody's going to be
Yeah,
drunk.
I haven't said it one time this year because I and I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
When people say, "Oh, do you take that?" I said, "Man, if you worry about what people say or think about you, you're never going to be very successful, or you're never going to have much fun."
Oh, man.
I never cared what people said or did. And I came along, in a different screw in the '80s. I wasn't the poster child, cowboy.
Yeah.
I didn't. I had long hair. I wore big furry coats, and beads, and I wore gold chains. That was my era.
That's
awesome.
So I didn't care, and they
Yeah.
used to give me, crap about that, but it doesn't matter.
Look at Sid, what he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And rock her down. And,
Yep.
and you can't be like that. You'll never win a thing. Look at Jerry Nelson. They told him, son, if you're ever going to win Contractor of the Year,
Yeah.
you're going to have to shave that
And,
big old
and you're going to
beard.
have to get along.
Yes.
You know what he told him? Find
yeah.
me. Find me. I don't care. And that's my deal.
There is no bad publicity. Trust me. when I
No, that's
say
right.
this.
That's right. Yeah, we know. We've been
Whoa.
through it,
Yeah.
All right, we know. We talked about time. We're always, we're battling that. So last question.
Oh, man, you going to run me off this quick?
No.
Hell, we're leaving. I'm taking you to lunch in a little bit.
No, but Junior World Finals.
Yeah.
Your involvement in the youth.
Yeah.
Why give back? What?
Well, when we've talked about this,
Yes.
I would, I tried to, I was really looking this way back there and it wasn't the time. So I went back and just did my junior opens. I have 2 a year, over 400 kids. We pay out over $100,000 at each open.
Nice.
It's important for me because as I'm doing my clinics, or I do a lot of privates, you're busy. You're working, your kids play volleyball, yours play football. They can't get to a clinic. But guess what? 4 days a week, I can get to you. So I do a lot of 5 kids here, 4 here, 3 here. I'm able to travel and do them, and it makes it easier for you. So to do that, and I tell them at every clinic, hey, you can make it roping. You're going to have a chance to make it. But for that to really mean something, we have to have the big junior events to build to the professional level.
Yeah.
There's very few of us that are lucky enough, talented enough, whatever you want to call it, to break from. I went to the freshman year. I went to high school rodeos. The next year, I win 80,000 amateur. Then I win 100 the next year. Then I got my card. That's hard to do. But we build now with the junior high school. It's so
and
good.
It pays, and that helps the parents.
Well, see, that's what people don't understand. I was telling them this yesterday. We were out there the other day. Yesterday, I had one of my boy out there. Mike Johnson had a roping out there, and it's a building deal to get here. But they paid $10,000 yesterday for a fast round. One of my girls I've roped with since she was 7 or 8 years old, Aspen Miller, she wins $16,000 there yesterday.
Good Lord.
Okay, and that's a great deal because if you look out there, I could take you right to their rig. That truck costs, at the minimum, the trucks are costing $50, tops $85 for a double cab dually 1 ton.
Absolutely.
That trailer, I'm in the trailer business. I know that trailer costs between $112 and $135.
Wow.
that horse is worth 40 or 50 that's in that trailer.
We're at a quarter now.
That's right. And we just came here without the diesel and the time. So it's so important, I think, now that, and it used to be cool, and I had breast collars and buckets and buckles and, all that stuff, but I couldn't eat that. That's why I quit going to the junior high school rodeos. My dad said,
it was a money
we
funnel.
can't put that in the gas tank.
No,
so I went to amateur rodeoing at an early age,
Yes.
and I got my butt handed to me for a while. I had to learn how to win. But now, with these junior events, we're making it bigger and better for the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, until we went down that path, I'm worried about paying for my son. He's 14. He's playing club soccer.
Yeah. And then there's that thing that makes them run called diesel.
But that's my point. Man, when you start think about the bigger business of when we talk about rodeo. Now we talk about youth. There's a reason why people are diving into this.
Sure, there
right?
is. I told a guy the other day out there sitting out there. I said, stand up on this fence because I've got a TV crew following us. I have a boy named Kobe Douch, 14 years old, unbelievably talented kid. I mean, he's won probably 15,000 the last 3 weeks down in junior opens. I mean, this kid's got it. We've had him around us since he was 7. His brothers, John, missed the finals by 1 spot this year. 21. My boy John. It goes. So I was this camera crew, and he was saying, I think there's more money in this, Joe, than I thought spent. I said, stand up on this fence. So we got up on the very top and looked out in the parking lot. I said, there's probably $2 million in trailers out there.
Yeah.
And I said, every trailer, the truck deal, 60, 70,000, add that. And I said, every trailer's got 40,000 in horses, if not more.
Minimum, yes.
Yeah. And I said, everybody came from somewhere where it spent 1,000 and 1,200 in diesel,
Yes. Yep.
And he was like, I had no idea. And I think that's what we're educating people on now with all this youth movement. Hey, and I got a little bull rider I sponsored, Ty Hayes' kid, Kate Hayes. Yep. He's 9 years old. He's won probably 10,000 in 2 saddles, poking holes in them, riding them.
What if we'd have had that? Wouldn't that have been amazing?
That's what I'm saying. We are building better, more competitive champions at an earlier age with all our youth movement.
And now they're used to winning money, so it takes some of that pressure.
It does.
Of oh my gosh, I'm roping for 30,000. Well,
that's right. That's
I'm just
exactly
roping for
right.
30,000. Because if that would have happened to me or you when when I first started high school rodeo age, like 16 years old, it would have been like panic mode for 30,000.
Yeah, and luckily now I didn't have, so I wasn't worried about it. But let me tell you what now is. Also, I think it's maybe helping us teach them to manage money a little.
100%.
And that's a big deal. I mean, I know NFL, you see it all the time,
back to
or
Denny Flynn,
anywhere else. Exactly. I think now though the kids are, like they're learning to, and if they may not get all of it, parents may give them half, may give them a quarter, whatever, but they're learning to manage money. And later on in life, how important is that?
Yeah, because look at these sports figures from other sports where they're giving a kid out of high school for a basketball or a baseball scholarship,
absolutely,
$50 million. And Charles Barkley said the smartest thing that's ever been: give the kid $1 million of that $300 million and put it in escrow. Do something.
That's what Shaquille O'Neal did.
Yeah.
Give me $1 million to live on.
He's good.
You can live pretty good.
That's why he's always
unless you're
smiling.
rodeo, you can live on $1 million a year.
Yeah.
I want to add something though, because I love this comparison. Right, we're talking about rodeo. It's a sport, right? It's got all of its bells and whistles and things like that. But when we talk about NBA, college, this happens too, because I realize how important the college circuit is.
Sure.
And, winning in a final, stuff like that. But to your point, sometimes like, man, I got bills to pay and I got a life to live. I can't do college. I can make the pros.
Yeah, and you know what?
But we don't talk about that jump.
I honestly think, what's wrong with helping a college athlete? What's wrong? The school's making $30 million on a playoff day
with a kid's knee riding on it.
Yes,
one play
he cannot go to the NFL, and he could have maybe made. What's wrong with giving him $10,000 a semester, $20,000? Yeah, give him a house, give him a car. Give him food.
And then you wonder why they sneak off and sign autographs, and then they get busted.
They're trying to live.
Look at Todd Gurley.
They're trying to live, is what they're trying to do. And hey, let's face it. 50%, could I say maybe, of the elite athletes don't come from money.
Oh.
Maybe more. I say more, but I'm just being friendly here.
Rodeo Jones is a great example. He lived in a dirt floor house in Foley, Alabama.
Yes, sir.
With 4 brothers in a 1-room dirt floor house. Okay?
Yeah, you think he didn't need some help in college?
Yeah, well, he did drive a Cadillac Escalade to Foley High School. I don't know where that come from. Well, I'm just kidding. But why not just, and that goes back to us with our sport.
Rodeo,
pay these kids.
Yep.
You know, high school rodeo, it was great for me.
Yep.
It gave me the confidence as a little bullied kid in school once I won 2 barrack riding
Yeah, to have
championships.
something. Show them.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And then, but I didn't make any money.
Yeah, no, I know.
And then I went
I know.
right on to the ACAs over there.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
in
you did
Georgia,
like
and
I did.
Yeah.
We had to get out of the high school because we couldn't afford it.
Yep.
And that's what's, you know, and they're not paying a ton of money now, but at least the high school rodeos went to jackpotting in money,
Yeah.
you know, to let
That's
those
nice.
kids have a little bit back, or the parents have a little relief,
Yeah,
you know?
it's like a scholarship when they say, "Oh, congratulations,
Yeah.
Joe, on your new scholarship." No, congratulations, Dad.
Dad,
on
that's
the
right.
new-
And you know what I tell them in my clinics? It's funny you bring that up. I tell them in my clinics, I said, look, I don't care what college gives it to you.
Yeah.
If they give you a free roll, take it. Because after about 4 months, it's the same bars, the same pool halls, the same
100%.
restaurants, the same study hall, the same town.
Yeah.
It may not be the one you want, but it ain't going to be much different.
Yep.
But get you an education.
Yeah.
Because very few of us are lucky enough to make it and last through it. And then the other part of that of it is, it's not a dumb man's game anymore.
No, it's not.
You better know
way.
how to get around planes, trains, and automobiles, and it's all done on a phone, and you better learn something to fall back on.
Yeah, my daughter, she
100%.
goes to a little East Mississippi
Yep,
Community
yep,
College
yep.
over there with Goody.
Yep, with Goody.
And she won the region this year.
Yes, she
you
did. I
know?
saw that.
And that's what I tell her. She has not cost her mother and I one nickel
That's
to
right.
go to college.
That's
and
right.
I'm way more proud of that she has accomplished that financially and
let me tell you, East Mississippi ain't the prime place she'd probably like to be.
no,
but
they have a Subway and a truck stop. You've been to
but
Scuba.
she did it, and she's
Yes.
taking helping y'all for helping her.
That's a good
Exactly, you know, and I appreciate that.
You dang
so much,
right
'cause
you
it
do.
means she said, "Dad,
Yeah.
I'm going to go here. They're actually going to pay me. You know, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to transfer back here, just because they're knocking some of this off. You know, they're giving me
Dang
travel
right.
money. You know, and I'm so proud of that. And that goes back to this for the last 50 years. This high school rodeo broke a lot of
Oh,
us.
I'm telling you, yeah.
And I'm not
Yeah.
knocking.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's
But
what
with
got
that
me started.
said, that's why it's time to roll over into this new.
That's why I'm
and we
asking
talked
that, yeah.
about it.
Yes.
There needs to be, you know, I'd love to be involved in some changes here because I think that you could change it, make it a good direction. There needs to be some changes right here. When you can have that over there pay that much, and we got all this over here, and it's not going to, we need to fix it
Yeah.
because there's a huge chance to boost it right here.
I agree.
Absolutely.
So, look, your dad, I want to go back to this because it's always fascinating with father-son type stuff. But it sounds like, and you've referenced him a lot in this
Yeah.
conversation. Did you have that relationship where he's truly that did he focus a lot of just your success? I mean, how was he nurturing you from the ground up?
You know,
I mean,
to be honest, he was always in the background.
Nice.
You know, I mean, I used to rope a lot of. They have these big invitational ropings and the featured matches.
Yep.
You know, Roy and I roped a million times. Fred and I roped. You know, and it's a big deal right in the middle of us. Stop and have a big match, 15, 20, 30,000. You know, whatever we'd have bet and rope. And you never could find him, but he was always there if I needed him.
Nice.
You know, and he was the kind of guy, like I said, he was a weekend warrior, but he was a student of the game. And he said when your mother and I caught on early on that you had maybe what it takes, then he said it was my job to try to make sure you had all the tools, because monetarily I wasn't going to do it, but I was going to give you all the thinking tools to make it on your own.
Nice.
You know, and that's kind of what he did. And you know, Houston Hutto, boy, made the national finals.
yeah.
You know, he used to go rope with him when he was a little kid. You know, he had a lot of kids that you know, Britt Lewis and I remember one year we were rodeoing in Labor Day. For some reason, we weren't roping good, wasn't winning. We decided to turn out of the Northwest, and we fly to Victoria, Texas, of all places to be Labor Day. It's 387 degrees, you know. And we went and roped with my dad for 4 days and got back on plane, flew out. And when we left there, I remember Brent Lewis saying, "That is the toughest man I've ever seen to stay hooked with us every day in that heat." But that's what he did to try to get us back, you know. And then he called Brent once a week till he died.
oh man,
Dang sure did. Boyd Pahamas, one of the first rodeos. I was there, one of the first college rodeos he ever did. Well, first, you know, set. And we were in Huntsville, Texas. And I was living there, you know, and I didn't go to college. I didn't have time for college. I was rodeoing to see if it worked.
Yep.
So we're in the bar one night, you know, and he's been announcing up there, and he's in the bar with us. And I walked by and I said, "Hey, good job, Boyd." And I remember him looking at me like, "How do you know I do a good job?" You know. And my dad picked up with Boyd and got to be friends. And when after my dad died, Boyd gave me, you know, a couple letters he'd wrote him before the finals. His first NFR about, "Hey, you do a good job at the rodeos. I've seen you at the little ones, blah, blah, blah." Nice. But that's the kind of guy he was, you know. He just kind of, and he instilled in me two things. He said, "You're never too busy for somebody." And he said, "You're always too busy to be idle."
Exactly.
He said, if you walk by that one person, he said, no. He said, at some point, that there, if he's 3 or she's 90, they don't forgive and forget.
Well, let me tell you what I think he's instilled in you. We've been in this conversation now for 45 minutes. I've never heard one time you say, I did this or I did that. It was always my dad and me.
Yeah. You don't, and it takes a village. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's just like I tell. Well, they wonder sometimes. You know what? And I got 2 boys, John and Kobe Douch.
Right.
You know, and I told him I help him. We do it all. My wife does all his. You know, we just help him. And I got a couple more help. The reason is, I had help.
Yep.
If you're going to tell me you didn't have help and be here successful, you're a liar.
It's the same in the clown business.
So, yeah, any business. Baseball, football, TV, radio, I don't care what it is, you know. Don Imus helped me on the first couple times he listened, you know, he'd tell me, hey, you don't need to say that, or hey, that's enough of that. You know, well, that meant something because he knows. He's been in the business a long time.
Yes.
So if I can't help and give back some, then what was it all about? The journey, I didn't learn anything.
Man.
Exactly.
All right. Keep going, Joe.
Well, the ending is fun. We've all had the ending. But Robbie and I have been as successful as we could be in our field. But the journey is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't learn anything or enjoy the journey, we can't hand that to anybody else to enjoy the benefits at the end when you reach success.
Absolutely. You know, and I told the kids at the meeting the other day, and this isn't about me, but we can
man.
relate.
Yeah, no, it is. It is about us.
It's all about us.
I was telling the kids the other day at the end of, you know, don't make this the only goal you have. You got to live this game.
Oh, yeah.
And I told them, because I rolled that barrel out, the 10th performance in 2010, and about 4 beers later, they forgot who the hell the barrel man was at the NFR. I didn't.
Yep.
But the journey to get there and the phone call that got that, and this, and if any of the kids are out, and that's what I try to tell them, don't step on your mother's neck to get here.
Yeah.
Enjoy this whole process, and it will come.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm a testament just like you are. And that's what's so funny. We came up the same way through Jackie Cannon and all the guys in the IRA. We made it, and I didn't have anything. I was a kid in Atlanta. I would be working at McDonald's still right now if it wasn't for a situation that got me living with my grandparents.
They got a pretty good retirement plan.
They do.
They probably got better weekend.
Having a CITO scholarship, you know, that you've been selected to college, you know, but now you have to pay for it. But live this game. Live this. And like we were talking about, one of these days, everybody's going to come, and you're going to get 6 to carry you.
Yep.
And they're going to look over in there, and all I ever wanted them to say, just like you, is, oh my gosh, that guy used it up and had a good time.
And I'm going to tell you, you know, and not to throw a damper on but I've been on both sides of that road.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I tell everybody, when I sit down and talk to you about drugs, I know.
Yeah.
You know, I went through it all, and I do a lot of talks. I talk to a lot of kids, and a lot of times you walk by and you look at one and you see that look. Yeah. Hey, man. You all right? Yeah, I'm good. You know. But I tell them I don't talk about anything that I hadn't been through. And you got to watch what you say, because at times you'll say, "Well, I've been through the worst." You know, I had a boy named Brady Helms that we taught to rope and stayed with my mom and dad forever. Or me, came to college in Huntsville, built the barn on my place. You know, we roped. I hauled him his rookie year. He missed the finals by 2. You know, and he got killed in a wreck. When he did, I did his funeral, and I said, you know, this is the hardest hit I could ever take, because he was like mine. Well, watch what you say, because roll on a few years later, and I lose my own son. And when you lose your own, it's a hit you can't ever, you know, you never know.
Imagine.
You don't want to know. But you got, you know what I'm saying? You get reality checked every now and then. Because when I got up there and said that, you know, he was like upstairs, it's not going to be the worst you're going to have. You're going to have worse. You know, and it's just like when I talk to people, you know, I've had, you know, a couple friends lost boys this year, you know, and I call them. And I call them because I know what they're going through, and I mean it when I say it's hell, but call me, you know, because it's not something I run from. It's like when I OD'd. You know, I OD'd, I was gone for 3.5 minutes. You're not supposed to come back and be sharp as a tack, which I ain't very sharp, but you're not supposed to come back being here like I am, you know, from that. But there was a reason. You know, I thought it's because I was going to get to come back, win all this stuff. But, you know, after I looked at it, I'd already won gold buckles. I had cars, money. I had, you know, everything. But it was to come back and get my family through the rough shit that was going to come.
Absolutely.
And the stuff that people around me, good friends, were going to suffer through. So when you look at it that way, it's like our journey we talked about. It's all at the end is worth everything. But at the very end, you're going to be judged by one person, and you're going to be carried by 6. So exactly if you've lived a good, fun life all the way through, and you make it to those 6 people you know that can carry you, guess what? you just had a hell of a life.
You better believe it. Shut her down.
Hey,
That's the happiest thing when I come to rodeos is like when we were talking about we get slapped on the wife.
2 minutes, I stop in the middle there, like, get out of the arena. Shut up, I'm talking. That's what I tell them.
Or
I don't care.
Parties,
I just don't care.
I get rodeos because people want to have fun. And, the same way when they see you, they get you there because it's fun.
And I tell those guys when they mess up, you can win 18 rounds in a row. They won't ask you a question. The minute you mess up, you got a reporter with the mic in your mouth before you clear the arena. And I tell everybody all the time, look, man, I was never the world's greatest sportsman. Because I knew if I messed up, I cost my family money and me standings money, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I got some good advice years and years ago. He said, a guy told me one time, said, they're going to pick on you and talk to you a lot. I just told Dalen this a while ago because you're successful and going to win. You got 5 minutes to clear your head. And when you don't have 5 minutes, you count backwards from 10. So when you get to 1, at least you're thinking enough not to say anything stupid.
Exactly.
Because I'd say something stupid, at the wrong time. You know what I
mean?
mean?
Trust me, I've been there. Look at Fox News.
I'm telling. Yeah, I know, and we've all been through it.
Yeah. You're judged by that, right?
That's what you judge by, right there. That's right. Not what you've won or done. Yep. They'll judge you by that. So I tell all these kids, mom and dad's always, you be a good sport. You stop that. You don't do this in the arena. And I'm like, hold up a minute. That kid's a winner. He's not happy because he or she just because they messed up. Don't just hammer. But with that said, you got 5 minutes or 10 to 1. And when you get in that position, be sure you use it.
Absolutely. That's what used to drive me crazy when I was doing, I hate to refer back to NASCAR, but you get all mad at Kyle Busch. Well, every time he don't win, he gets mad. Well, what the hell do you want?
Is he out there to win 10th?
I know.
I'm sorry,
Oh, he's so hateful when he don't win. I don't even like that. I'm like, no. If I'm paying that son of a gun, if I'm paying you to rope, train me, I want you to get plumb mad if it don't go right.
That's it. Yeah, and there's a difference. I tell them, I tell everybody, my people don't lose. They get beat. Yes. If you prepare and practice and make your grades and help at home and stay out of trouble, then you're not a loser. Yeah. You're just going to get beat sometimes, and that's part of the game. Absolutely. Any game. Politics down to rodeo.
You better believe
it. Man, hey, wow.
Yeah. You're awesome. Can we get him 3 more times this week? I know. We need
Seriously, though.
We need to do a part 2 of Joe Beaver tells us how it really actually is.
Well, Robbie and I were like, man, I hope we get some information out of Joe yesterday. We were talking.
It's been tough, but I think we've got it.
Well, it's fun, but here's another thing too. Yeah. It's about a good good lead. Yeah. We're all in it for the same reason, to better what we're doing.
Yeah.
And when you get your minds together like that, and you have an open line, for lack of a better term, you need to use it to the betterment of what we're doing, and we're all for the same cause.
Absolutely.
People are listening.
The only thing I think that would ever compare to this interview today with Joe Beaver is a guy that owns a monkey that rides a dog, and I don't know where we would find that. Hey, Kenny.
We know that guy too.
Kenny's sitting over here. He said, Joe, and shut the hell up so I can get out of here.
We're going to have fun with Kenny.
You better believe it.
One thing about it, he can talk about something nobody else knows about.
Exactly. We're just talking about roping and all that. He's got a dog.
I'm going to tell you this, and I don't mind saying it. That's one of the acts that no matter who you are, you're going to go watch it for the factor of what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Hell.
And that brings, and I know we need to get out
Whatever,
of here. I don't care.
Okay.
Heck yeah, we got all that. All I got to do is go do the autograph session. When back in the 80s, like in the mid 80s when y'all were here, I used to hear this story because, I love working the barrel. I love the bullfights and everything. They used to say that no matter what happened, who they find, get out of the way, nothing. When they used to fight Crooked Nose here, every one of you guys would be down at the other end watching.
Crooked Nose and Purple People Eater. I remember them like
it didn't matter. They would
it.
go. They would haul ass and go put their horses up, or still be seated with the rope can down in the moat.
Yep. Everybody watched that. And I'm going to tell you what, the bullfights were huge. They were huge for us. And I think the reason we liked them so much, it was calm at 101, going at them. Yeah. It's like watching, like I used to watch, I pulled some ropes on some guys that could really ride.
You did. I loved to watch
But
that
what
too.
I liked was, I liked to watch Tough. Because he wasn't, if he got bucked off, would duck the bull rope. You know what I mean? He was there for a reason. Yeah. I really liked Adriano. I liked to pull his watch him because he was wanting to dominate.
Plus, you were the only one stout enough to pull that big sucker's rope.
It took 3 of us sometimes, but that's the same thing with the bullfights to me. I loved watching. I was in the era of Skipper Voss at his end, but he was still good.
Sure.
Miles Hare, Rob Smets, Mowry. Lloyd. I got to watch all those guys. And I remember them like yesterday because they intrigued me. You know, they intrigued me. That was something that was, you know, you were in a tie down rope and you're always one step away from doing something terribly wrong or tearing something up. You know, and that's kind of how the bullfights were, you know.
100%.
And you roll that around with a few acts that you can throw in there, like John Payne, like in the dog. I mean, there's that wow factor that lures you into watching it because you want to see it successful or what the hell just happened.
Oh,
and that's what makes it unique.
And with Kenny and I, we're fixing to get him on here. That is such a testament to, and it's such an honor because you see rodeo every day of your life during the summer.
Yep.
If you'll stop and watch something, that's an honor to the people that are doing it. When everybody stops what they're doing. When I do that stupid garbage can barrel racing act, and
everybody
like,
loved
or the sumos, they'd be like,
everybody loved the garbage barrel.
Yeah, you know, and you do that.
Well, you need variety.
Yeah, and it's such, and I want to tell y'all, it's such an honor. Just like y'all would go put your rope cans up in a hurry and get back for that bullfight.
Yep.
That meant that y'all were entertained. And if you're entertaining the people in the business, then you're damn sure entertaining
the people in the stands. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But y'all have a right to be entertained too.
Oh yeah, and I'm going to tell you what leads to that.
Yeah.
Back to what you said. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, why are you doing it?
Yeah, that's true.
The funniest
Us
and the best
and y'all,
compliment
you know what
is
I mean?
when them ropers are standing up there. Y'all get out of the way. We're sitting here where we can watch.
Yes.
this.
Yeah. We're not rushing. We want to see too. You know, and that's
and that goes right back to living the moment,
Yep.
living your life in this sport.
Man.
And you're a complete testament, and you have been through the fire, buddy, and you have been through hell. But I've never seen you change one time and not be happy. I know, and as much as anybody in this world
seriously.
ever has been through with what you have been through, I admire you because I would be one bitter SOB.
Well, and it's hard some days, you know what I mean? Truly it is. But here's the thing you go back to. If I lay my stuff off on one person and don't help that person, then all the 100 I helped, it's a waste.
Right.
You know, you got to just keep it going forward. You know the old deal, play it forward. And my grandfather's in the oil field for years. He's a big wig in the oil field, and he said he used to, you know, back then they'd call him 2 o'clock in the morning with a problem, you know, on the rig or something. He'd say, here's what you got to always do. I said, what's that? He said, if you're in a problem or you got a bad situation, he said, you look in the mirror, you count from 10 backwards, and you give the best answer you can give for the betterment of everybody involved, and go back to sleep.
Nice.
Wow. And if you can do that, you're going to make it in life.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah, it is simple. And he said, you know, and that's what he said. He said, I'd answer the phone, turn the light on, sit up and look in the mirror and count from 10 backwards. And he said, when I told him what to do on that well, he said, whether it was a blowout, you know, back then blowing them out, or whether it was bad, you know, oil coming up, they had to cap it and treat it. He said, I gave them the best answer for all of us involved, not just to protect my ass or the driller or the chemical man or the pusher. He said, I give the best advice that we would all benefit. And if it didn't work, the next morning when I woke up, I dealt with it.
That's
some pretty
that
good
goes
advice.
with every. I mean, it doesn't
No,
matter
that goes
what
with
you're
life.
doing.
Yeah, with us, with you,
that's-
with Kenny, with
all
it
of
doesn't
us.
matter with all of us.
Yeah.
That's how we got to look at life.
Count back at 10.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that.
And then
Writing it down.
the bad stuff, you know. I mean, I've had to do it many a morning to get rolling, you know. And then finals are hard at first, you know, when I first started coming back. So you know, you just roll right on forward.
I'll tell you, Joe. Last time we talked to you, blown away. But I'm serious. Like, once again, here we are, emotionally driven.
These guys are. We have the best job in the world, and I didn't realize it. This is the most that you and I've just got to sit you know,
and you know
2
what?
lightning rods, because we
That's
are,
right.
you know, I mean,
And the people you're talking to, you know, I'm going to tell you that, you know, I always said, you take Tough Edelman, you take Oak Barry, you take whoever. Multiple world champions have something something in them that they know how to pull from. Because you go win a world championship one time and everybody's happy for you, but they want to see if you can do it again.
Yeah.
You know, you win Clown of the Year one time, they want to see if you can do it again.
Yes.
You get the Arrowman
where it was a fluke.
You know what I'm saying? But I've always said, and then when I OD'd, I kind of stood by it. But I've always said, you know, when I die, or when Tough Edelman dies, or when Scamper dies of Charmaine's or something, you know, you cut them open, that heart's going to beat a little bit longer just in case we got a chance to get back. Because we've had to do it, we've had to pull it before to make it work.
That's how we started this thing off, was talking about what you did after you won the first.
Yeah,
it's funny, here we are.
Yeah, we come right back around.
But I'm gonna tell you, I appreciate it. This has been great. Anytime anytime
you know, we
need
should get our degree in philosophy because these guys open up in here.
We're bartending in here, Robbie.
Yes.
Hey,
I feel
it's
like a bartender.
It's like being in the bar in the 80s.
Yes.
You can just go back and tell it like it is because they choose to get on here and listen to this. We're not forcing them.
That's
exactly. Thank you, Joe. We appreciate
thank you very
brother.
much,
Well,
Joe.
Enjoyed it, guys.
You bet.
Thanks for listening to the NFR Extra podcast. Make sure to give us a review and rating on wherever you listen to NFR Extra. For more information regarding the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, visit NFRexperience.com and follow Las Vegas NFR on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube.
Gotta make it out to Vegas, where the big boys roam, with the rovers and the racers and the bulls and the broncs, and the ladies in the skin-tight